A woman who lacks integrity or honesty. Trust is the cornerstone of any thriving marriage, and integrity is the glue that holds trust together. A woman who is deceitful, manipulative, or lacks honesty can bring ruin to a relationship, creating division and heartache. A woman who lacks integrity often exhibits warning signs, such as deceptive speech. She conceals the truth, twists facts, or uses lies to gain an advantage. She exploits emotions or situations to control outcomes for her own benefit. She avoids taking responsibility for her actions and blames others. Today, we will address a topic that resonates with both the heart and the spirit: the pursuit of a God-ordained life partner. Marriage, as established by God, is one of the most sacred and profound institutions, Genesis 2 verse 24. It symbolizes His covenantal love, where two lives unite to glorify God, fulfill His purpose, and reflect His unwavering faithfulness. Yet, not every relationship is meant to culminate in marriage. In His divine wisdom and love, God often places clear warning signs before us, guiding us away from decisions that could jeopardize our faith, disrupt our purpose, or draw us away from His presence. Today, my message is directed especially to the men, but the truths we'll explore are relevant to all. How can you discern when a woman is not meant to be your wife? What are the warning signs God provides to protect you? Marriage is far more than a simple agreement. It is a sacred covenant, a lifelong commitment designed to foster spiritual growth, mutual love, and service to God. However, the enemy understands its power. He knows that a wrong relationship can derail your God-given mission, rob your peace, and weaken your faith. For this reason, choosing a partner demands prayer, discernment, and unwavering trust in God's guidance. May God's Word equip you with wisdom and clarity as we uncover the characteristics of a wrong partner and learn to recognize the divine warning signs that guide us toward His perfect will. 1. A woman who is quarrelsome and disrespectful. The Bible vividly portrays the challenges of living with a contentious and disrespectful woman. Proverbs 27 verse 15 states, "A quarrelsome wife is like the dripping of a leaky roof in a rainstorm." This imagery is powerful, as it conveys the constant, grating discomfort caused by unresolved tension and strife. Just as the persistent dripping of a leaky roof disrupts peace and focus, a quarrelsome woman creates a home environment filled with turmoil rather than harmony. Marriage is a partnership that thrives on mutual respect, love, and humility. A contentious woman undermines these foundations, making it nearly impossible to build a stable and God-honoring union. Her words and actions can belittle, humiliate, and erode the confidence of her spouse, creating a wedge not only in the relationship but also in spiritual growth. The story of Michal, the daughter of King Saul and wife of King David, provides a striking example of a disrespectful and quarrelsome spirit. In 2 Samuel 6 verses 16 to 23, we see David joyfully bringing the Ark of the Covenant back to Jerusalem. Filled with exuberant devotion, David danced before the Lord with all his might, wearing only a simple linen ephod, a symbol of humility and spiritual surrender. Michal, observing him from a window, despised him in her heart. When David returned home to bless his household, Michal mocked and ridiculed him. How the King of Israel has distinguished himself today, going around half-naked in full view of the slave girls of his servants as any vulgar fellow would. 2 Samuel 6 verse 20. Her words revealed not only a lack of respect for her husband but also a disdain for his worship and devotion to God. Rather than rejoicing in the spiritual significance of the occasion, Michal allowed pride, judgment, and a quarrelsome spirit to overshadow her role as a supportive wife. As a result, Michal's relationship with David suffered greatly, and the Bible notes that she remained childless until her death, 2 Samuel 6 verse 23. This serves as a sobering reminder of how a disrespectful and contentious attitude can hinder blessings and damage relationships. A quarrelsome and disrespectful woman often exhibits certain patterns. She undermines her spouse's decisions, mocks his efforts, or uses hurtful words to demean him. She thrives on arguments, refuses to seek resolution, and may hold grudges, making peace elusive. A lack of humility leads her to prioritize her opinions over others, including her husband's. She resists or dismisses her husband's role as the spiritual leader of the home, creating division in their faith journey. These behaviors disrupt the unity that God desires in marriage, making it difficult for both partners to grow in love and faith. A godly woman, by contrast, is described in Proverbs 31 verses 10 to 12. A wife of noble character who can find. She is worth far more than rubies. Her husband has full confidence in her and lacks nothing of value. She brings him good, not harm, all the days of her life. Such a woman fosters peace, encouragement, and mutual respect in her marriage. She recognizes her husband's God-given role as the spiritual leader of the home and seeks to support him in fulfilling that calling. This does not mean she has no voice or opinions, rather, she communicates with love, wisdom, and humility, seeking to build up rather than tear down. Ephesians 5 verses 22 to 24 further emphasizes the importance of respect in marriage. Wives, submit yourselves to your own husbands as you do to the Lord. For the husband is the head of the wife as Christ is the head of the church, his body, of which he is the Savior. This submission is not about inferiority but about honoring God's design for marriage. A respectful and supportive wife creates an environment where love, unity, and spiritual growth can flourish. A quarrelsome and disrespectful woman can turn a home into a battleground, robbing it of peace and joy. But a godly woman, who respects and supports her husband, is a precious gift from the Lord, a partner in faith, purpose, and love. 2. A woman driven by materialism and vanity. Proverbs 31 verse 30 offers timeless wisdom. Charm is deceptive, and beauty is fleeting, but a woman who fears the Lord is to be praised. A woman whose heart is consumed by the pursuit of wealth, status, or outward beauty is not prepared for the sacrificial love and selflessness that marriage demands. While beauty and success may capture attention, they cannot sustain the deep, enduring partnership that God intended in marriage. The story of Delilah serves as a powerful cautionary tale. In Judges 16, Delilah betrayed Samson for financial gain. Her greed and focus on material wealth led her to exploit Samson's trust, causing his downfall. She cared more for silver than for the man who loved her, and her actions ultimately stripped Samson of his strength, freedom, and connection to God. Delilah's story reminds us of the dangers of valuing worldly treasures over integrity and love. A woman driven by materialism and vanity often displays certain warning signs. Her primary focus is on how she looks or how others perceive her, often prioritizing external beauty over inner character. She measures her worth and success by material possessions and societal recognition rather than spiritual depth. She is never satisfied with what she has, always desiring more and comparing herself to others. Like Delilah, she may use relationships as a means to an end, prioritizing personal gain over genuine love. These traits are dangerous in a marriage, as they create instability, competition, and a lack of trust. The Bible teaches that a godly woman's worth lies not in her outward appearance or material possessions, but in her reverence for the Lord and her inner beauty. Your beauty should not come from outward adornment, such as elaborate hairstyles and the wearing of gold jewelry or fine clothes. Rather, it should be that of your inner self, the unfading beauty of a gentle and quiet spirit, which is of great worth in God's sight. 1 Peter 3 verses 3-4. A woman who fears the Lord understands that true fulfillment comes from living a life that honors God and seeks eternal treasures. 3. A woman who lacks integrity or honesty. Trust is the cornerstone of any thriving marriage, and integrity is the glue that holds trust together. A woman who is deceitful, manipulative, or lacks honesty can bring ruin to a relationship, creating division and heartache. The Bible gives us a powerful warning through the story of Jezebel, the wife of King Ahab. Jezebel's actions in 1 Kings 21 reveal her character. She manipulated situations, orchestrated lies, and encouraged Ahab to commit grave sins, such as the wrongful seizure of Naboth's vineyard. Her deceit not only corrupted her husband but also led the nation of Israel into idolatry and rebellion against God. Jezebel's life stands as a vivid example of how dishonesty and manipulation can destroy both relationships and faithfulness to God. A woman who lacks integrity often exhibits warning signs, such as she conceals the truth, twists facts, or uses lies to gain an advantage. She exploits emotions or situations to control outcomes for her own benefit. She avoids taking responsibility for her actions and blames others. Her actions create suspicion and instability in the relationship. Such traits make it impossible to build a strong, lasting, and God-honoring marriage. In contrast to Jezebel, a woman of integrity stands as a blessing to her home and her relationships. She speaks with kindness and sincerity, fostering trust and openness. She handles responsibilities with honesty, whether in finances, relationships, or daily life. She supports her husband's spiritual walk and guides her household in God's ways. Proverbs 31 verse 11 beautifully describes the trustworthiness of a godly woman. Her husband has full confidence in her and lacks nothing of value. A godly woman builds her home on a foundation of honesty and integrity. She strengthens her marriage through truthful communication and a heart that seeks to honor God in every area of her life. Brothers, be discerning. Seek a woman who values integrity, for her character will be a source of strength and peace in your life. 4. A woman who pulls you away from your calling. Marriage is a sacred partnership designed to glorify God and fulfill His purpose in your lives. It is not just about companionship but also about mutual support in pursuing God's calling. A woman who discourages your faith, belittles your devotion to God, or prioritizes her own desires over God's will is a clear warning sign of an unhealthy relationship. The story of Samson and Delilah in Judges 16 serves as a powerful cautionary tale. Samson was chosen by God to lead Israel and deliver them from the Philistines. However, Delilah became a distraction that ultimately led to his downfall. She used manipulation and constant pressure to betray him, stripping him of his strength and connection to his divine calling. Samson's mistake was not recognizing the danger of being unequally yoked with someone who did not honor God. Delilah's actions not only cost Samson his strength but also delayed his mission. Though God restored Samson's strength in the end, his life became a sobering example of how the wrong partnership can hinder one's spiritual purpose. The following are the signs of a woman who hinders your calling. She mocks or downplays your relationship with God, making you feel ashamed or hesitant to live out your faith. She pushes you to choose between her desires and God's will, often prioritizing worldly goals over spiritual ones. Instead of encouraging you to pursue God's calling, she becomes a source of distraction, leading you away from your mission. She does not share your passion for serving God and has no desire to grow in her faith. A godly woman will strengthen your walk with God and support your calling. The Bible highlights the importance of being equally yoked. Do not be yoked together with unbelievers. For what do righteousness and wickedness have in common? Or what fellowship can light have with darkness? 2 Corinthians 6 verse 14. Marriage should be a partnership that reflects Christ's love and purpose. A godly wife will inspire and encourage you to pursue God's plan, as described in Proverbs 31 verse 12. She brings him good, not harm, all the days of her life. A godly woman will lift you up, not pull you down. She will pray for you, encourage you, and stand with you as you pursue God's calling. She will value God's will above her desires and be a source of spiritual strength and wisdom. Brothers, seek a woman who helps you draw closer to God and inspires you to fulfill your purpose. A woman without self-control. The Bible warns us of the dangers of being entangled with a woman who lacks self-control or godly character. Proverbs 11 verse 22 provides a striking analogy. Like a gold ring in a pig's snout is a beautiful woman who shows no discretion. This verse reminds us that beauty without discretion and virtue is meaningless. A lack of self-control in speech, behavior, or desires can lead to chaos, not only in a marriage but also in every area of life. A woman who acts impulsively, speaks recklessly, or seeks personal gratification without regard for righteousness will be a stumbling block to a godly and peaceful union. The story of Potiphar's wife in Genesis 39 illustrates the devastating consequences of a lack of self-restraint. She was driven by lust and desire, attempting to seduce Joseph, a man of God. When he refused her advances and fled from sin, her lack of integrity and control led her to falsely accuse him, resulting in Joseph's imprisonment. Potiphar's wife is an example of how unchecked desires and impulsive actions can harm others and create turmoil. Her selfishness and lack of moral character reveal the kind of danger that comes from being with someone who does not value godliness and integrity. The following are signs of a woman without self-control. She speaks harshly, gossips, or causes unnecessary conflict, ignoring the wisdom of Proverbs 21 verse 23. Those who guard their mouths and their tongues keep themselves from calamity. She acts without thinking of the consequences, leading to instability in relationships. She prioritizes her gratification over God's standards and the well-being of others. She refuses to honor God's moral and relational boundaries, leading to sin and destruction. In contrast, a virtuous woman is described in Proverbs 31 verses 25 to 26. She is clothed with strength and dignity. She can laugh at the days to come. She speaks with wisdom, and faithful instruction is on her tongue. A woman of God demonstrates self-control, wisdom, and kindness in her words and actions. 6. A woman who does not value family. Marriage is far more than a casual agreement, it is a sacred covenant established by God. It represents a lifelong commitment to love, honor, and support one another. A woman who treats marriage lightly, disregards its sanctity, or shows little regard for the importance of family is not ready for the profound responsibility of being a wife and mother. In God's design, marriage is the foundation of the family, and the family is a reflection of His love and order. A woman who neglects or undervalues these principles will struggle to build a home that honors God. The Bible celebrates the characteristics of a virtuous woman who cherishes her family and fulfills her responsibilities with diligence and love. Proverbs 31 verses 10 to 31 describes her in detail. She watches over the affairs of her household and does not eat the bread of idleness. Her children arise and call her blessed, her husband also, and he praises her. Proverbs 31 verses 27 to 28. This virtuous woman prioritizes her family's well-being, works hard to provide for their needs, and maintains a spirit of faithfulness and love. She embodies the qualities of a godly wife and mother who values the sacredness of family relationships. The following are signs of a woman who does not value family or marriage. She views marriage as temporary or conditional, rather than a lifelong covenant. She prioritizes personal ambitions or pleasures above the needs of her family. She disregards the importance of honoring parents, maintaining strong family ties, or building unity in the home. She shows little interest in nurturing children or creating a stable, loving environment. Marriage is a reflection of Christ's relationship with the church, a relationship defined by unconditional love, sacrifice, and devotion. Ephesians 5 verses 25 to 28 teaches that husbands are to love their wives as Christ loves the church, and wives are to respect and support their husbands. Families are central to God's plan for humanity. In Deuteronomy 6 verses 6 to 7, parents are instructed to teach their children about God's ways. These commandments that I give you today are to be on your hearts. Impress them on your children. Talk about them when you sit at home and when you walk along the road, when you lie down and when you get up. A woman who does not value family or marriage cannot fulfill this vital role of passing on faith, wisdom, and love to the next generation. A kind-hearted woman understands that marriage and family are gifts from God, not burdens to be taken lightly. She will invest in building a strong, Christ-centered home and honor the sacred covenant of marriage. Seek a woman who values the eternal significance of family and views marriage as a partnership in glorifying God. Such a woman will not only stand by your side but will also nurture a legacy of faith, love, and godliness in your home. The decision to marry is one of the most profound and life-altering choices you will ever make. It is not merely about companionship, it is about choosing a partner who will walk with you in faith, support your calling, and build a Christ-centered home. A wrong marriage can lead to heartbreak, spiritual stagnation, and even destruction. But a godly marriage, a union founded on mutual love, respect, and devotion to God, can bring immeasurable joy, purpose, and blessings. Marriage is a sacred covenant, not to be entered into lightly or based solely on fleeting emotions. It requires discernment, prayer, and trust in God's guidance. As you seek a wife, pay close attention to His warning signs and align your choice with His word. Look for a woman whose heart is fully devoted to God, whose character reflects the fruit of the Spirit, and whose life is marked by humility, integrity, and a commitment to family and faith. Remember the wisdom of Proverbs 18 verse 22. He who finds a wife finds what is good and receives favor from the Lord. Trust God to lead you in this decision, for He knows what is best for your life. Commit your path to Him, and He will direct your steps. With God at the center of your marriage, you can build a life of lasting love, partnership, and purpose. Choose wisely, and may the Lord bless you as you honor Him in this sacred journey.